How do you break a habit? Whether it's smoking, bite your nails, obsessive compulsive disorders?
Well, thought is the vibrational basis of all things. And there are a lot of people that attempt to control their behavior who haven't taken the time to line up the thought energy. And then there's just not enough power in the world to compensate. In other words, if you can, we've been saying something, here's a poetic way of putting it. There's nothing that is so right or so wrong that we would like everyone to do it. What we really encourage is that you choose something and then line up with your choice. So if there's, when you call something a bad habit enough that you're wanting to break it, that means that there's been enough annoying things going on that have caused you to choose something different. So a part of you is choosing and has actually become this new experiencer, while the physical part of you in your habit is still doing the same old stuff. It isn't until you really break it down that you care about how you feel that it will be easy for you to just all of a sudden begin to start a new trend. What we would do if we were standing in your physical shoes, give us an example of something that you would like to.
Let's say nail biting.
So you're having an experience, and let's say you're biting on your nail and you catch yourself in the middle of it and you say, oh, I said I was going to stop doing that. So you're talking about what you don't want. So then look at your nails and talk to yourself about why you don't want it. And describe it. Well, it's not good for my nails, and it's not very appealing in the way that it looks, and I'm not allowing my nails to grow in the way that I want to, and it's an indication of a nervous fit that I'm not very proud of having. And so beat the drum of what's wrong with it for a little bit. And in doing so, you're launching these rockets of desires about what it is that you prefer. So what is it that you think you are preferring? In other words, you know you don't want to bite your nails. What is it that you do want relative to that?
Right. Okay.
So you'd say, I want my nails to grow. I'm wanting to be more relaxed in my physical body. I'm wanting to show myself that I can make a decision and stick to it. In other words, you're making those statements of what you do want. So now let's say you leave it there, and now out of habit you catch yourself biting your nail. Well, if you push against that, if you say, oh, there I am again, I'm biting my nails, that's a totally upstream statement. So now you try to make it more downstream, and you say, well, I really just made this decision just recently, and I do have some patterns of behavior that's going to take a little while to let go of, and anytime I decide that I'm going to do something, eventually I do, and I do so like the picture of my nails as I want them to be, and I have noticed that I'm able to do whatever I set my mind to, and I like the idea of this turning out more the way I'm wanting it to be. And wouldn't it be nice if this was one of the easier things that I did? And wouldn't it be fun if I used this opportunity to get my thoughts all moving in one direction, and then I found that the action followed along easily behind? And wouldn't it be a nice opportunity to understand that form and manifestation always follows thought? And I don't know why I'm using this as a piece of behavior that I'm using to beat myself up with, when it on the whole is really insignificant. And I've been making more of this than I've wanted to for a long time, and I think I'm just going to relax and let this sort of play itself out. And as I'm visiting here with myself, I really have no inclination to want to bite my nails about it. When I stop to think about it, it's sort of an irrational thing that I've been doing. And just with that much conversation, you will have turned the energy to the point where you won't ever do it again without thinking about it. And when you catch yourself in the middle of doing something that you said you weren't going to do, stop and say, I'm no longer going to demand behavioral change. Instead, I'm going to ask first for vibrational change. And the vibrational change will be easier and easier to come by as I just focus more and more. And then you'll begin to notice something as simple as that will suddenly be a non-issue. You'll realize that you just haven't been doing it, and you'll say, well, that was the easiest thing that I ever did. I lined up the energy first, and then the action followed right along behind. It's always the way that it is. If you take the time to line up the energy, something as simple as you're on your way to a restaurant and you know you're going to arrive at a busy time of night, and often there isn't a place to park, but you feel particularly tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and you like the feeling of there being a place waiting for you at the door. And you know it can't wait very long or somebody else will move right into it. So the timing of this is going to be particularly interesting. Just at the time you arrive, someone else is going to back out, and the universe is going to say, here's your parking place. So you've played that over in your mind, and it's been a pleasant thought because it's not life or death. It doesn't mean you're bad or good. In other words, it's just something that you played with a little bit, and now you're driving into your parking place. And just, you might have even forgotten the conversation you had with yourself, but just as you are looking around for a place, there right in front of the door, someone backs out, and the person makes eye contact with you as if to say, here you go, I saved this for you. And when you put your car into that place and you consciously acknowledge the correlation between the thoughts you had in advance and the good feeling you had while you had them and the cooperative universe that has lined up this parking place for you, what happens is you begin to understand the vibrational cooperation of the universe. And all that has ever been missing has been your personal vibrational cooperation with self. So often you've been acting out of habit, or thinking or speaking out of habit, or biting your nails out of habit. And now you are more deliberately projecting your thought with an expectation of getting results. And as you start making those correlations, you begin to feel the invincible nature of your being. You begin to literally stand in the center of your universe, look around at the aspects and components of your life, choose from what is around you to make your decisions about what you want, and you begin making affirmative statements. Universe, I select this and this and this and this, and I will be watching for your ever-present cooperation. And then as you begin moving through life with that mindset, you begin noticing that all things begin to shape up just for you, just because you said so.